All right, I'm gonna give the people what they want. Nation keep calling for it, so let's do it.
Just win, baby.
Hell, you do it.
Yo, what's goody in your hoodie? It's your boy Black the quarterback. Back with another edition of the Bart, the Bay Area Raiders talk. And I'm gonna do something I normally don't do, but I'm just going to show y'all the versatility that I'm not just biased. People might think I'm biased, but I'm not biased. I hear the nation. They want Mendoza to start so bad. So bad. I see Madden simulations with him starting already. I see a lot of people in the different chats saying that Mendoza needs to start. So I'm gonna go ahead and gauge into the shenanigans. We're gonna do the season schedule prediction if he was to start game one. And if you stay tuned, I'm gonna correlate some things and we're gonna see just how realistic we're being here in the Raider Nation. But let's have some fun tonight on the BART. It's going to be a cool kickback show. A lot of y'all just got off the live with Spice One, the East Bay Gangster. Shout out to Spice One. Thanks for the interview, guys. That was a real good podcast, and that's really good for the nation. So I'm glad to see it. It's all about that one nation. You feel me? So we're gonna talk about your boy El Capitan, Fernando Mendoza. We're gonna get right into it. Now, the professionals in Vegas got us at 6.5 games, but they saying that we're favored to win over the 6.5 games. So that means about 7. I've seen a lot of prediction shows. People said the Raiders were going 15-2 with Kirk Cousins starting. I've seen people say that we're going to go 11 wins. I even myself said something like 10, and I adjusted it down to 8 for realism. So 8 or 7 was my number. That was my ceiling was 8. My floor was 6. So let's take a realistic look, well, a projectional realistic look if Mendoza was to start game one. So let's get to the schedule, y'all. What's up with your Bruce Willis? What's up with my guy? Let's get to it. All right. Let's take a look at this schedule. Yeah, we should know this schedule by heart by now. We already know who we play week one, though, right? We know who we play week one. Let's see here. Let's look at the schedule week one. Week one is Miami. Miami. Now, this means Mendoza will be playing in his home. Well, yeah, he'll be playing his hometown team, which would be the Dolphins, but that game kicks off at Allegiant Stadium. So, if Kirk Cousins was not to start game one, and it was Mendoza game one, what does he do? I think that he would be good enough to win that game. And I think he could beat Miami. Miami going through a culture change and just like we are, but I think we just have a little bit more stability. I think we have a little bit more talent and give us the edge. So we would start the season 1-0 with Fernando Mendoza. So we would start off the Raider season with a win and also a home victory, which sometimes elude us. So that'll be a real good start to start off his tenure as a Las Vegas Raider. What's up with it? With this say, bro? We can easily go 3-0. Okay, with Mendoza, usually go 3-0. Okay. Let's see. So, but this would be a difficult game. Game two is against the Chargers. Now, that could be a tough game. That's down in SoFi. It essentially would be like a home game for us. We like to black it out. But I think that'll be a tough game. I don't know if we could pull that one off. It is our conference game. It would be a conference game. It would be Mendoza's first conference game. Uh, and I would say we would not win that game. We will lose to Chargers. Justin Herbert, y'all should know, the people that know me know that I think Justin Herbert is so overrated, maybe the most overrated quarterback in the league. But I think we would lose that game in week 2. Then we hit the road again to New Orleans. The Saints, the Aints. They made some additions, but they're fairly teetering on that, trying to find themselves too. And so going into this game 1-1, can Mendoza and guys really pull this game out? And I think it's going to be tough. Tyree Wilson going to be fired up that game, y'all. For real. I hope he don't go off because you know how we do. We play ex-players. They play well. People, players that have grudges against the Raiders for some personal reason. They, for some reason, just ball out of control. But for some reason, I believe that we can pull this game out against the Saints on the road. We usually play the Saints competitive. I don't think that they're there yet. And I just think that we would have some kind of momentum going into that game still because we won the opener. And the Chargers game is going to probably be a close game. So we'll go on the road, and I got us winning that game with Mendoza. El Capitan will take the team to 2-1. My boy said he see him going 3-0, so I think he has them winning that game. Let's take a look. All right, then the following game. What the heck? I'm trying to hate when stuff be going wrong. Hold on, man. Let me get the schedule back, bro. So who's that next game after the Saints? I think that's a game. Hold on, y'all. You know when you streaming, it always something crazy that go on. I'm trying to find the dang schedule. All right, here we go. All right, the following week after the Saints game is the dreaded Chiefs game. Woo! 2-1 going in against the Chiefs. And it's going to be a big game. And this would be like a good calling card game for Mendoza if he can pull this game out. And I feel like the Raiders can win this game. I have it. I have us winning this first game against the Chiefs, regardless who's quarterback. But if Mendoza comes in, I think we're gonna catch them at the right time. Uh, they having issues over there. Rasheed Rice, he doing too much because he can't stay off the weed. So they having little issues over there. They're going to have some continuity issues, which they normally do a lot of times early in the season till they hit their stride. Um, Unless they hit the ground running already from the previous year that where they was rolling. But that's not the case this year. A lot of teams do not. A lot of people do not see them winning the division this year. I am one of those people. So I think they're susceptible and vulnerable. So we might be able to go in there and steal this first game from Kansas City. So I got us winning that game, bringing the Raider Nation to 3-1. What do you guys think about that first Kansas City game? Do you think that the Raiders could pull that game out? Yep. Tough, but Mendoza wins it. Okay. All right. So the following week, we're going to travel Foxborough to go play the dreaded Patriots, AFC champions. And the Raiders usually don't play well on the East Coast. I kind of feel like we're gonna be really feeling really, really good about the win in Kansas City. Maybe a little exhausted um, mentally, maybe a little bit physically. And I think the nation would be going wild right now if we was 3-1 at that. But we're still not there yet, and I believe we will lose this game to the Patriots, bringing us to a respectable record after 5 games, 3-2, considering we only won what 3 games last year or 4 games. It don't matter, but I think we won 3 games last year, so that'll make it respectable going into week 6. But it is a tough part of the schedule, 3-2. Then we play the Bills at home. Now, good thing we play this team at home. I think the Bills are going to be a team that's going to really rely on Josh Allen. I think that's a mistake. That's the same blueprint that they use for Joe Burrow. When it don't work, you can only go so far, and it even manifests itself even with Josh Allen now. That's why they're trying something new, because their coach that they had wasn't a bad coach. They're trying to bring in somebody that's more quarterback friendly or offensive eccentric, that's going to cater to Josh Allen, because that window is closing for Josh Allen. It's definitely closing for Joe Burrow. And I was trying to tell people that these elite quarterbacks that we have in the league now aren't like how they used to be. Their windows are not as open to win Super Bowl as long as the quarterbacks used to. So right now, Joe Burrow, he just got like a sky light open right now. I don't even know if it's open. It's just a little sun that's coming out of there. But I don't see them going back to the Super Bowl like they did when he first got there. And the same thing going to apply with Josh Allen. So the question is, can the Raiders win this game? I'm going to say we're going to lose this game. Had us winning this game if it was Kirk Cousins, but I think this game would be just a little bit too much for Mendoza. Uh, Mendoza, I said Josh Allen was a player comp. Uh, Josh Allen was a player comp to Mendoza. I met Mendoza, big 6'5" guy, and I was like, man, you remind me. And prototypical quarterback, 6'4", 6'5". That's beautiful, because you can have big linemen and still see over the line. But I think this would be his first taste of you know like prime time football, other than maybe the Kansas City game a little bit, but it won't be as much. But I think we'll lose this game, but it'll be a good experience for him, and it will bring us to 500. Okay, we in the gauntlet still. Rams. We will be playing the Rams. Now, McVay, part of the Shanahan tree, is going to be a special game for the Raiders and Coach Cool. Coach Cool. So, Kubiak going against the Rams. I think the Rams was a little bit too much. I think they're maybe like right there on the doorstep of going to the Super Bowl. They're getting closer, and they're getting closer. They're beating good teams. We play them early, so we do have a chance, but I just think that Ram team is going to be a little bit too much, and that's going to take us for the first time under 500 to 3-4. But in week 8, we get to go see Geno Smith. Now, this team right here, they drafted well, but their roster is not going to be put together yet. A lot of people even say that Aaron Glenn's going to get fired by mid-season, and this is almost mid-season. So if he loses game to the Raiders, this could be his last game, considering what people are saying. I don't know. I don't think he's going to necessarily lose his job this year, but I could be wrong. I really kind of don't care. I just don't think it's fair you bring a guy in for a year and then fire him in the year and the next year. But then again, we did the same thing to AP, so um, can see why. But they will lose this game. The Jets, the Raiders will come back after losing 2 games in a row to bring their schedule to 4-4. We will beat Geno Smith. He will kind of light it up a little bit, but throw an interception at the wrong time, and I would say it would go to Traden Stokes. So we're going to win that game. That's going to bring us to 4-4. Then we play the Niners. Battle of the Bay, that's not in the Bay. The Bay going to be fully in attendance. So this is going to be probably the biggest game up to date, if not up the year for Mendoza. It definitely would be a big culture game for him. Like if he can come out with this victory against the Niners, then he would be beloved by the nation. So can he beat the Niners? Can he beat the Niners? Do you guys think he could beat the Niners? Let's see in the chat. Hit the like button as you guys come in. He said kick Geno's butt for sure. He got the Patriots winning. Y'all can see that. Good evening, nation. What's good? What's good? What's good? So I got us winning this game. Close game, win it. We're gonna win the game, maybe by a field goal. I don't think that their defense is like it used to be. Their offense is gonna be a little bit suspect. The Niners usually start really catching their stride, playing solid. We gotta stop CMC. This is gonna be a defensive type game. But if Mendoza can unlock our offense by week 8, Kubiak is comfortable. I mean, by week 9, this will be week 9. Then we'll be good. We'll be good right there, and I think we'll be able to play them strong because Kubiak played the Niners twice a year. He know what to understand. He know what to expect. Another Shanahan tree coach. So that experience is going to help us a lot. So I got us winning that game, bringing us to 5-4. Uh-oh. We going in after a big win of the Niners, and then we play Seattle at the crib. I think Kubiak got this game circled on his schedule. A lot of people, including Vegas, think that they still gonna be good. I do not. They lost their running back that was the MVP. They lost their signal caller. I mean, their play caller. Um, and that's big. People don't really understand how big that is. We should be able to see how big that is because of Chip Kelly last year. But a lot of the nation still think it's just mostly Geno and it's mostly Brennan Carroll. They do play their part, but I'm telling you, those two combined still don't make up what the offensive coordinator can do. When you lose your offensive coordinator is supposed to put you guys in the best position possible to make plays happen and win games. And you understand that during the week. So whether the team is coached up or not, you know what your strengths is, you know what your weakness is going into that week. So if you don't capitalize on that, you cannot execute. So with that being said, I think Seattle will lose this game. Let's meet that. I'm saying that if I think we had a veteran quarterback, but if Mendoza was there after coming off the Niner win, I think he would be uber confident and he can elevate himself to another level. So with the win against Seattle, that would bring us to 6-4. And then week 11, the Broncos would blow dicks. I think this team is overrated, but you can't really call them overrated when they're deep as good as it is. And when you have a really good defense, then you can make up for deficiencies on offense. Now, I think their offense is uh, not that good, but they did bring in Waddle. They are trying to bring in pieces to kind of be able to get some points on the board with that. I think Denver will be good this year. I hate to say it, but at the end of the day, they could be beat. They could be beat. If you put up 28 points, you could beat them, and that would be the challenge for us um, against them. But I believe we lose this game to the Broncos, and the game is in Denver. So what does that bring us to? 6-5, 6-5. And then we go to week 12 and we travel to cold Cleveland. What's up, Charm City? We go to cold Cleveland at 6-5. Now, this is a pivotal game because I believe once again we probably run into Shador again. Perfect timing for him because like last year, he got his first victory with against the Raiders, and we played him again. This would be like a revenge game for us. Well, I haven't forgot. But for some strange reason, I think we'll lose this game too. Some strange reason, we will lose this game too. This is one of those games we should win, but we will lose, and making it 6-6 going into the bye. It'd have been nice to get a victory there going into the bye, but we're 6-6 going into the bye. Now, after the bye, both teams are coming off of a bye week. The Chargers will be coming off a bye week, and that game will be at the crib. We're going to have a sour taste in our mouth because of that loss earlier in the year, and I think we will beat the Chargers with El Capitan this time. Because, the Chargers, they start off kind of decent. A lot of people got them going second in the division. They usually fade out injuries. So I think we can go on and handle this game right here and bring us to 7-6. Is that 7-6? That yeah, 7-6, or is that 8-6? Ooh, that's a lot. It's a lot of wins, y'all. I'm gonna do the adjustment. Trust me. 8-6. Then we bounce back and play Denver again. This is a game we probably gonna need to win. We're gonna probably need to win this game. It's at home. Tough. I do have us winning this game. I have us winning this game. So that would give us what, 9-6. I have us beating Denver at home 9-6. It would be 9-6, and then we play the Titans. I think we lose that game for some strange reason. I think that team is going to be a little bit better than they were last year. So that brings us to 9-7. Then we go to Arizona playing the Cardinals. They probably going to be trying to get a quarterback. They're going to be tanking. That's going to be 10-7. That gives us 10-7 that we beat the Cardinals. And then the last game of the season, no, not 10-7. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back and I think it's 9-7. That make us 9-7 against the Cardinals. And then we play the Chiefs at the end of the year. And can we win that game? I think they're gonna really need to win that game, and they're gonna pull that through. And 10 you get in, and it's gonna be close. So I just have us losing that game. We're gonna split with Kansas City next year. If Mendoza was to start finalizing our schedule to 10-8. Now, I'm gonna throw my adjustment on there, give or take 2 to 3 wins. Once again, that brings us down to 7 or 8. So I say 7 or 8 wins. Let's say 7 wins. we win seven because a couple games I might just not know. We don't know the situation. Might be some injuries, uh, things that we can not foresee. And seven wins. So, based on my calculations, we're the same team. And maybe that's why a lot of people seem to think that maybe we should play Mendoza. Maybe we should make him the starting quarterback from week one. To me, I think this is best case scenario. Best case scenario, we'll win seven games with Mendoza coming in. Um, and I just think that that's just the best case scenario. So if let's say if we don't win seven games and we win five games or four games, that's only one game more than we did last year. And would that be worth putting him out there in that situation? Because you can really hurt rookie quarterbacks by putting them in a situation and they're not strong enough to endure, or they're not necessarily ready to endure what goes on. It all kind of depends on what the team look like around them. A lot of teams are in a situation where they have to start their first pick quarterback because the quarterback room is bad. I could see if we had AOC and somebody else, then of course we would start Kirk. I mean, we would start Mendoza week one. But we have a quarterback that's either comparable as him or better. But we know. And if we can stick Kirk Cousins out there and he can kind of show Mendoza the way. I think Mendoza is going to look back and say that Kirk Cousins is going to be very instrumental in his career. But hypothetically, if he was to start, Mendoza was to start week one and we get five wins or something like that, it could be a good starting block. If it's worse than that, we don't want to sit there and put him in a situation where he can end up being a bust. Because knock on wood, if you with me, I hate to this part of the game. What if Mendoza goes down? We say the same thing about Kirk Cousins. Week eight, week five. What if he plays bad? What if Mendoza plays bad in the first six games? What if he go 2-4 in the first two games? Would we try to go to Kirk Cousins? So I don't know. I do see that we're in a good situation. I think that what we really should do is we should embrace our quarterback. Um, Kirk Cousins coming into this season. I mean, I'm like, I'm definitely over 68.2% or more confident that he's going to start just based on skill level alone, experience, and everything for Cousins. But in the event that Mendoza did come in and start, I think we could win a few games, but we're not in a win now mode. We're still trying to build. You got to understand, we're installing new head coach, new defensive coordinator, new quarterback, new defense. So that's a lot to overcome. Let me check out the chat. James said, "All love, Raider Nation. Let's hope we keep the same energy we have had the last 4 months or so." Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Make sure we have that same energy for Kirk Cousins, though. We need to show Kirk Cousins love. If he is a starter, let's put that love behind him instead of hoping that he doesn't play well so we can see Mendoza. They already told us that this is a process, but yet the fan bases keep trying to, we want to win now, we want Mendoza now, we want Mendoza now. There's too many negative things that can happen in this situation, and then we'll be like, we're Raidering again. We got ourselves our hopes up high, and then something happens, and then the Raiders are going to Raider. So I think that we should definitely listen to Kubiak as he tell us. He tell us over and over that, hey, this is the plan. But for some reason, we want to put the new toy on the road. Like, let's just wait. Let's wait. He'll get his time. He'll be here for a minute. What's up with it? From Utah, that's what's up. Been part of the nation since '79. Did I say '79? Yes. Hey, so you know what the goings on is, and you kind of got an idea what the culture was like back then when the Raiders was the Raiders. So shout out to you for that. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button if you've been a Raider fan for over 20 years. If you've been over Raider fans for over 30 years, hit that subscribe button. 100%. We've been trashed for too long to throw the kid under the bus. Let's build this smart. It's smart, James. And our coaching staff understands that. You can see how we're constructing this team that we're simply trying to do it right. You can't guarantee anything, but you can put yourself in the best position to succeed. And I really think that's what we're doing. And I think that we should continue to do that. And Kubiak is letting us know, and the nation needs to follow suit, not what we want. Stop trying to interject and project what we want. I see too many people saying that Mendoza should start week one when the franchise is saying that we're not. I mean, you got to say if the best guy wins, sure, but even even Kirk Cousins know and Mendoza knows, like aside from being competitors, that Kirk Cousins is the better quarterback. He's the mentor, and Fernando is the mentee. And the issue that a lot of teams run into is they don't know players don't know their role. You have to know your role. If you're trying to be a role that you're not, but you try to put players in roles that they're not ready for, then you can't succeed. You're not going to succeed. You're at the NFL level. Everybody's supreme and elite. Everybody is trying to one up each other, and let's take our time and do it right. That's something that we generally don't do is take our time and do it right. And ever since Mark Davis decided to get away and allow other people to make football decisions, a la Tom Brady, a la Spytech, things are starting to look better. Our draft classes look better because we definitely got some players that we like. Because look at the Trey Tucker draft class. He ended up being the best player in the draft class. How many people even remember who was in that draft class? But the subsequent draft classes, we end up getting pieces, important pieces, like Bowers, important piece. And we went and got a running back. Now that you tight end is a safety blanket for quarterback, and the running game and a running back is a quarterback's best friend. So you have those things in place. You have a quarterback now, and he even has the luxury, which is something that's not normal, to sit back and watch the game and then let it eat at him, and then raise his performance, and then be ready to go out there. So when he's out there, he has the moxie to play. He has the confidence to play. It's not that he's going to get confused a lot, because a lot of times what happens with quarterbacks is the coverages and disguises of the coverages is what get them. Mendoza's a smart guy, just graduated Berkeley Business School of Haas. The man is smart, extra smart, so he can study and he can learn from Kirk Cousins' mistakes. So I don't think that if Kirk Cousins struggles early, we should really like start trying to jump out the window over it. Now, granted, if he start like 2-6 or something like that, then I'm like, all right, we doing all right, Kirk Cousins. You ain't. We don't like that. We don't like that. We know we ain't supposed to win 10 games, but we're not supposed to be picking early next year. Not with a veteran guy like you. Not like with a quarterback that's thrown for 4,000 yards 7 times, which is more times than every quarterback in the Raider franchise already, because they've done it 6 times. So we have a level of expectation of you winning some games, but we need you to be able to show all the different dynamics so that way Mendoza can understand it. So when he do play, he hit the ground jogging. But we're in a fortunate position right now. And I got Mendoza if he was to start. Similarly, maybe 7 games. And that might be putting a little too much on it. So it might be like 5 or 6, which would be okay. You know what I'm saying? Be okay. Cam Ward, he came in. The Titans only won 3 games the year before, and he came in and won 3 games. Now, not really impressive with the record, but the good thing about him is he finished the season. He played the whole season. Let me tell you guys one thing what you should look at when you want to understand if a quarterback is quality. One of the most important things is your best ability is your availability. If you can handle the rigors of a full 17 game schedule, then that says a lot. And that's why I'm on AOC neck the way I be, because I'm like, everybody like, let's see what AOC got. Let's see what he just kick the tires on AOC. We've been kicking the tires on AOC. We done kicked like 3 tires out of 4. This year, y'all want to kick the 4th tire and the spare. And AOC's only started 17 games. If I was to do this same thing with the schedule with AOC being a quarterback, first of all, AOC wouldn't even make it to the Kansas City game. But even if he made it to the Kansas City game, he ain't about to make it to the game after that because he's going to get injured. He's target. He can't scramble. He can't get out of the pocket. If that first read ain't there, then just hold your breath, and they gonna hit him. And he don't know how to fall, even if he do scramble. The man bruised his knee or whatever and had air cast and got carted off like it was the end of the season. Came back and then did the same thing with the other knee. Like, come on. Best ability is availability. So the thing with Cam Ward, although he only won 3 games, I'm sure they're going to win more games this year because of that. So winning 5 games with a Mendoza would be good. I'm just like confused a little bit because when we were not sure if we were going to get Mendoza, a lot of people was like, well, he played in the system. He was a system quarterback. He didn't have to put it on his back. It was Coach Signetti. It was this. It was the wide receivers. It was that. It was a team effort. He wasn't that good at Cal. Like all these things people were saying, but now all of a sudden he better than Kirk Cousins, a quarterback that's thrown for 4,000 yards 7 times. I didn't see the shift. I missed the memo. I must have been on the BART because I didn't see it. But uh, for some reason now people seem to think that he should be the starter without even going into training camp, thinking that he should be the starter. And that just doesn't make sense. But I did this for fun, uh, kind of show us our bias a little bit, but it's hard to tell because these are just projections, and I just did it for fun. But how many games you guys have Mendoza winning if he was to start game 1? Charm City said he agreed. Think Kirk should start game 1. Oh yeah. So what do you guys have Kirk? I mean, I'm sorry. What do you guys have Mendoza record if he was to start? Yeah, I don't think we should start. There's some Raider content creators that no matter what you tell them, they're gonna think that Mendoza's gonna start. That's that hopium. They high off that hopium. And then I don't have a problem with you being like that. It's just that you project it to everybody else, and then everybody's like Chicken Little, the sky falling because they have these unreasonable expectations. Just like we had unreasonable expectations last year with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll said, "I'll win 10 games every year as a coach," and everybody thought that meant we were going to win 10 games. That's not what he meant by that. I understand we haven't won in a while, so we're thirsty for wins. We thirsty to bring us back to prominence, pride, and poise. I get it. I get it. But we got to think in reality. This is going to be a 2 to 3 year build. We need to see what we have in order to see what adjustments we need to make. I know a lot of people think, hey, the NFL is a league where you could be in a crash yesterday, but be in a penthouse tomorrow. Like that's not even, those are outliers, man. And not only that, a lot of those teams are already constructed in a way where if you just add a quarterback, then they'll be okay. Chicago, the Redskins, Commanders, and you see what happened to them. You see what happened to them. The Redskins, they went back to the bottom as soon as the quarterback got hurt. Tried to bring it back, got hurt some more. So now we don't even know what his Daniels career going to look like really, because he was up here for a second, but now we don't know because now if he don't have a bounce back year to the degree that he was playing, uh, essentially playoff football, he's got to work his way back up, and that's going to take him some years. And so that 1 year turnaround thing is not really a real thing. Sure, one team might could do that, but that's not the norm. And to expect a new defense to come in and a new offense to come in and a new head coach, a first time head coach to come in, and then a first time defensive head coach, defensive coach, a coordinator come in, and you expect us to catch lightning in a bottle. That's not, there's no bottle. We're just trying to spark lightning right now. There's no bottle to catch it with yet. Like, let's spark the lightning first. So I'm excited. I'm very excited about what we're doing because you can see that we're making competent decisions. A lot of times people was complaining about we never draft a quarterback and build the franchise around them. Then when we had the opportunity to do it, we were saying we should trade back and get a quarterback next year that we don't even know who gonna be where. Just like y'all doing with these wide receivers already. Like we ain't even started this year yet. And y'all already talk about next year. Oh, well, we need to get this wide receiver and get this wide receiver. Like, come on, man. Come on. But that's just me. That's just me. Let's see what the chat holler. Let's see. Start Kirk. Let Mendoza sit and learn from Mendoza. Don't need to start unless Kirk stinks to join up badly. Let's see Mendoza week 8 against the Jets. This is for 12. See, why week 8? And I'm glad you said this because I'm pretty sure. Let me text Kirk Cousins. I'm pretty sure when they was talking and he was like, y'all want to bring me in because he just came from a situation with Penix where the head office told him, yeah, you the guy, and then y'all go draft a quarterback because y'all had an opportunity, and then y'all kind of felt like, oh well, okay, well, let's see if we can get Penix in. And then it created a quarterback controversy that didn't need to be there in a division. And now Kirk Cousins um, had some disdain. Yeah, I'm not about to help him. And plus, his job ain't to help him be a better quarterback. That's what the coach's jobs are. Kirk Cousins' job is to show him how to navigate being a pro, just like Mendoza. But then I don't think Kirk Cousins coming in talking about, all right, look, y'all can throw me to the slaughters, and then after 8 games, y'all just let me go and sit on the bench and then bring in this guy. Oh, Kirk Cousins is playing for a contract. He's trying to extend his career too. So he's going to play as long as he can. You can't just going to take him out. So what? What does the record have to be in order for him to be taken out? 2-6. I don't think he's gonna go 2-6, but 2-6, I could kind of see 2-6. 3-5, nope, don't take him out because then you take him out at 3-5 at week 8, right? And then Kirk sits the bench, and for whatever reason, what if Mendoza lose 5-6 games straight? We okay with that? It's cool when he lose, but it ain't cool when Cousins lose. Because we thought we had a better quarterback on the bench. Same thing that Atlanta did and got Penix hurt. And now Penix's career is trending on bust. Same thing that happened to Mendoza. If we stick him out there after Cousins, then you got to go back to Cousins. That's a bad position to put yourself in. Like, that's thinking like a business. Like, I know in our Madden minds we want to stick him in, but this is a business. Like, this is business decision sports. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, the like button. Also, put the area code where y'all at, because I'd love to know where the nation reside at. So put y'all area codes in the chat. So I just think that there's more cons than pros by starting him Mendoza week one. Too many things can go wrong. Now we put Cousins out there and he play as long as he can, and then we stick in Mendoza, then the chips fall where they may at that point. So I think Coach Kubiak is all about putting his team in win-win situations, and I think that would be a win-win situation if we just let the young guys sit. Frank says, I hate when they do that. We got a good team and we can make a wild card game. We can. We actually can. Y'all don't know that Kirk Cousins can catch fire for real in the real way. Because even the last like 4 or 5 games with Atlanta, he won. He won more games than we won last year, and he only played like half the season. I don't even think he played all half the season. He has more wins than we had. So I don't understand how we think that Kirk Cousins is such a bad guy. Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than we had probably since Rich Gannon. He's better than ALC. He's better than uh, Jimmy Garoppolo. He's better than Gardner Minshew Pitchu. We gonna miss you. We gonna. He's better than that. Better than Geno Smith, and dare I say, better than DC. And I love DC. DC threw for 4,000 yards 4 times, and Carson Palmer once, and Rich Gannon once. So that's 6 times in our franchise. Kirk Cousins has 7 by himself. And he had at least one playoff victory, and that's a knock on him that the primetime games, he had primetime problems. So maybe he can turn that around. But at the end of the day, Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback that we've had in a long time. So we need to treat it accordingly. So I don't like us really doing this, but I just did this particular stream for fun because everybody kept wanting to talk about that. So I figured I'll bite so that way I don't get mad so much. Because I think as a quarterback, not having your troops around you and they saying we want this guy to be the shooter or the point man. Now I'm already got to prove it to everybody else, and that's me against the world. And that's just a bad position for a quarterback to be in. Let me let me get right. Let me get red. Okay, so let me get the let me get the these comments. Let me get all right. If Mendoza goes, started week 1, 6-11. Okay. Are we good with him going 6-11? AE was good. Any projection on what receiver is going to excel this year? Great question. Great question. I do. I do have an idea. You know who I think is going to have a good season? DT, Dante Thornton. I like him starting or playing like the X receiver for the simple fact he stretches the field. His speed stretches the field. I think Kirk Cousins will be able to get him the ball. And I think as long as he can catch the ball and work on his catching, he's gonna get opportunity to play. And he started last year, game one, and got the game sealing catch, which was not as easy as people think. Because just like on my intro, if you guys see it, the boy gave him the step move on the inside to get the corner to bite, corner bent, ran right by him. He was so gone that if the quarterback would have threw the ball anywhere past DT, he would have still been running right now. But the pass is short, probably because of pressure and all the, you feel me? And he made a excellent adjustment, caught the ball, secured the ball, secured the game. So DT is a wide receiver I think is going to have a good year, going to have what I would call a breakout year. That means his game will explode at least 50% or more. And I'm going to do it live tomorrow or Friday about who our breakout players should be this year. Did a live earlier. Go check it out. It's about my hit list of top 10 players that need to play well this year or they need to be gone next year. So check out that video. Another wide receiver I think is going to play somewhat decent is Jack Beck. You know, is he going to have a breakout year? I'm going to say no, but he's going to have a year where we can appreciate what he brings to the table. Because he's not the Dante Thornton type receiver that's going to create separation and the spacing is going to revolve around that speed. But what I do think he's going to be is that wide receiver on third down, where as a quarterback, you're looking for players, not plays when you're in certain situations like third and long and in the red zone. You're looking for players, not plays. So when you're looking for the players, what happens is they're going to try to stop Brock. So first read is going to be Brock. Brock going to be covered. And you got to go look for someone else. Maybe that's not open. And then you need to go either check down or you see Best dragging across as that late receiver and you get him that possession. He's going to be a possession receiver. It's about roles. His numbers ain't going to be great, but his role is going to expand. So I think he's going to play better. Trey Tucker. I think Trey Tucker's going to play better. He had 4 touchdowns this year. Stephon Diggs had 4 touchdowns with all his 1,000 yards. So to me, it's not about the number of yards; it's about the touchdowns for him. And I think he's going to go from like 4 touchdowns to maybe like 6 or 7, close to doubling it. Semi breakout. He's definitely going to play 25% better. So I think I just don't like that we're putting all this pressure on him because he's not. As much as he's got better year after years and he's really blossomed into a really, really good receiver for us, not as really, really good receiver overall yet, but for us, he's been a really good receiver. I don't think we should just put the whole wide receiver room on him. And I think people are reading a little too much into Kubiak when Kubiak says, hey, I like Tucker. Kubiak is going to speak life into all his players. Just like we talk about Mendoza and Cousins, and he throws in AOC. Now we all know doggone well, I guess not all of us, but most of us doggone know that AOC is not really in that conversation. AOC is not starting over Kirk Cousins. AOC is not starting over Mendoza, unless we just really sit in Mendoza for the year, regardless of what happens. So it's about speaking life and all the players, treating everybody equal, not showing any chinks in our armor. Yeah, we're all Raiders. We're all equal. We're a group. So he's going to include AOC. I just don't like the pressure on Tucker, and think he'll have a decent season. And I'm curious about Benson because If he can come in and really shock us, it won't shock me because a lot of people are saying he's that, and I'm like, we got him in the sixth round though, sixth rounder. And that's not to say a sixth round wide receiver can't be a steal for sure, but I'm just like, if he comes in and start in the sixth from being in the sixth round, that's going to be beautiful. So those are the receivers I think are going to have a decent breakout season or elevate their game. I don't know about Naylor. Uh, I don't know yet what he's going to bring to the table. I'm trying to think any other wide receivers. Just I don't know. I just think I think that's how that's going to go. Great question. Kirk Cousins has been consistently a top 25 quarterback. I mean, top 15 quarterback. Yeah. Justice says if we go 5-3 with Kirk, we can keep going with him. However, we still will want to see a glimpse of Mendoza at some point during the season. Why? 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 Because you just want to see him? Why? And you my guy, but why? Why? You almost doubled the wins you had from last year, 5-8. What you need to be doing is try to tighten it up and win 5 more games so you can go to the playoffs. At least 4 more games so you can be on the bubble. Why would you want to? Why would you want to start playing with that? Why would you want to? I just want to see. It's like, oh no. It's like when mom is cooking breakfast and she frying bacon and it's sitting on the stove and she still got to cook the eggs or whatnot and you just got to taste the bacon. Just give me a piece. I just got to taste a piece. Like no, and we're 5-3. The last thing we need to do is start tinkering with the lineup. If you would, we just got to see him next year. I think that would be a good situation to have. I think we should just not look at Mendoza as playing this year, and they're trying to prime us for that. But we keep want to do contrary to what they're telling us, to what logic really says, and we're starting to be emotional, and I don't like that because that's what was pissing me off about the Raider Nation last year. We were so emotional. And when you're emotional, you can't decipher things right. You can't discern things right. Everybody blaming Geno Smith for one thing, and then come to find out Chip Kelly was the one sabotaging them. And we still don't recognize that. Every time we talk about the offense being bad, we blame Geno Smith. We blame the quarterback, not the offensive coordinator. But then you want to blame the old line coach. Offensive coordinator called plays knowing where people line up, and we were mislining people up all the time. But that's for another moment. You feel me? Um, so that's how I feel about that. We should not mess with that lineup at 5-3. Just for 12 says Dante Thornton will break out this year. Look out for Bish as well to make contributions. Yes. Charm City. Charm City, where you at? Let me see where at. That boy said if ALC plays, we're picking number one again. Facts. So if y'all, and then we can go get that wide receiver y'all talking about. Them wide receivers y'all talking about. Phoebe says Mendoza is not going to start. ALC will be starting over Mendoza. And there is a possibility of starting over Cousins. Enough said. Go Raiders. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna let you have that because ain't no way in the world that ALC is starting over nobody. ALC ain't even a starter in this league. The only way ALC will get to start in this league is if someone get injured. He ain't taking nobody's job. Sorry. I'm sorry. J-Ro, what's up, brother? He said, Black, I truly believe that we can have a good wide receiver room with the platoon. I do too. It's been proven. People thought it was crazy when they got rid of DK Metcalf because see DK Metcalf and a lot of wide receivers don't believe in the system. They think they are the system. That's why you bring in a wide receiver late. You don't hurry up and go get this wide receiver because what's going to happen is he's going to want the ball. He's going to think the offense should run through him, especially if he's a wide receiver too, or also not two like wide receiver one. But if he's a good wide receiver and we don't have the quarterback, then you're going to have the Diva Vontae situation. And then he out there talking about he like AOC because he don't like Minshew playing games. And then had the nations talking about, well, AOC's better than Gardner Minshew. No, he's not. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. Stop it. Gardner Minshew hurt and still got a job. Promise you, if AOC leave the Raiders, he will not be getting a job. He'll be looking like Stidham. And Stidham, lucky he got his job. And he ended up playing in the AFC Championship game. So he got kind of lucky. He got blessed. AOC is similar, and I think Stidham is better than AOC. So it's a little tough for me. I think the platoon approach will work for us, and we will scheme wide receivers open and make the defenses be honest with our run game because that's how you help the wide receivers with the run game. If you don't have a run game, which we saw last year, that the wide receivers can't get open because the defense is already sitting in the zones. All you got to do is send their edge rushers. Pin your ears back. They ain't running it. That's why Genty ran for so many yards. So they wasn't looking for him to run. And even when they were getting back there in the backfield, and Genty was just doing his thing, which showed us a lot about him as a running back. Because he could have easily got hurt last year. For real. Back to what I was saying about players. If you have the ability to play 17 games, that shows a lot. Genty showed us a lot with that. So I agree with you on that. I think we could do the platoon approach. New Jersey fans say, just a thought, Cousins is going to be a top trade bait to a contender if a starter goes down. Okay, true enough. And he do need to go somewhere where he can get the bag because let's hypothetically say he wins us 7, 8 games this year. You don't start Mendoza next year, then we're gonna have a big problem then because now we're gonna get rid of an 8-win, 9-win quarterback, which is stupid because we ain't had one of them in I don't know how long. For Mendoza, for someone we don't know what he really gonna do. See, Kirk Cousins, this is why I've always liked Kirk Cousins, is because he always pushes the issue. When you back him in the corner, he pushes the issue. He maximizes what he does on the field and he maximizes what he does off the field. Why do you think he's top 2 most paid quarterback player all time? Because he pushes the issue. Now, if Spytech want to go on one and we can get some high draft picks and we say, okay, cool. We think Mendoza can probably do something similar, but we grab these draft picks, we can go get him a wide receiver next year. Then start talking wide receiver. Not before the season started. Like by this time, it'll be like week 8, week 9 that we're talking about. Yeah, he could be trade bait, and it probably would work in favor for both the Raiders and Kirk Cousins because he's coming in trying to earn him another starting position at the latter part of his career. So I'm with you on that. He could be trade bait. I'm not saying he's cemented here. I'm just saying let's get behind him because we have an idea what he brings to the table. Justice for 12 say, I want to see them other 2 QBs as well we got in the preseason. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what y'all fixation about seeing all these players, man. If you ain't good enough to play, we don't need to see you. You need to steal somebody's job for us to see you, man. We can't see all our quarterbacks because especially that we're just now building this offense and our offense is intricate. We don't have time to develop players. That's why I was saying that about Darian Porter earlier. We don't have time to develop him. We don't have no time for projects. We gotta develop Malik Benson. We gotta develop Jay Besh. We gotta develop DT. We gotta develop Naylor. We still gotta develop Trey Tucker. So those are players that are starting. We gotta develop Mendoza. Now, as far as seeing them to see who we're gonna keep on the roster, I agree, and they will play because Kirk Cousins not gonna probably play a lot. Mendoza's probably not gonna play a whole lot. I mean, you don't want to get them injured, but at the same time, you do want to get them some momentum going into week one. So I would not be surprised if Kirk Cousins play like half a game. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's happening. I just would not be surprised. But then again, he knows the offense, so he may not need to. Now, had Mendoza going to start, then we may need to play him. So actually, now I'm thinking it through. You might be right because Kirk Cousins might not get a lot of preseason snaps because he's already knowing what's up. So we might see a little bit of Mendoza and those other two quarterbacks. So as I thought that through, bro, you might be right. We probably will see those people, and it's good because then we'll see what we have. So yeah, thought that through, and yeah, my bad. I think we will see them. So Justice for 12, thanks for being patient with me. He said what he said, that's what I'm saying, Black. Why does everybody have to think that we need a number one wide receiver? We don't. Two nickels equal a dime, bro, all the time. All the time. Two nickels equals a dime. And if you guys know that we're doing this win by committee thing, like everybody is whenever you hear them talk about each other, oh yeah, Fernando's great. Oh, Trey Zoom, he's great. He's a great student. Oh, Naylor, oh yeah, Naylor. We happy like he's a great wide receiver. And like these players ain't played with each other yet. They ain't put on no pass and hit nobody yet. But they're doing like the Patriot thing, and I hate to say this. I keep saying I hate to say this, but it's a championship formula. Like we're business. We're not going to tip our hand. We're not going to have highs and lows like we did with AP. We're going to stay the course in the middle, and we're going to poker face it, just like our coach. Look at Kubiak. You don't see a whole bunch of fluff out of him. That's why they ask the questions. What is he like when he's not uh, in the public, or what is he like behind the scenes? And because it's like they asked him about the stepbrothers, about the QBs doing the stepbrothers, and he's like, I'd rather they was like focusing on football. Don't care about that. But then he gave a little smirk. So I think that we're all kind of doing this team thing, and I don't see nothing wrong with that at all. And I think that's how you win championships. You got to be able to want to run through the wall for the guy next to you. You got to want to run through the wall for the QB. You want to run through the wall for the coach. Run through the wall for the fans and the franchise. And you don't do that by picking out players because then you can have a bunch of good players, but what does that equate? Let's look at Cincinnati. They got Joe Burrow and they got Chase and Higgins. It looks good. That wide receiver room dope with the quarterback. But what does the fruit say? Sour fruit, sour grapes. It don't matter. Now you ain't got no money to get a line to protect him. The run game is dissipated ever since they lost Mixon. They're not in a great position. And they got two number one wide receivers. Same thing with Miami. They had Waddle and Tyreek. And Tua was decent. Tua was good when he wasn't on his back and knocked out. All that don't necessarily translate. DK went to the Steelers, played with Aaron Rodgers, still can't get out the first round. See, when you have big time players like that, you're supposed to be able to win a game with just them alone. At least one game, one playoff game, a quarterback of Aaron Rodgers' caliber playing with a DK Metcalf. You should be able to win one playoff game based on that alone and have a middle tier defense. And then when you run into teams that's better, then of course, when they scheme him out of the game, then you can't win. But I mean, like, come on. So I'm with you, bro. Two nickels equals a dime. Carm City say I'm biased when it comes to Thornton because he's from B-More, but I do think he will be more productive this season. No, he'll absolutely be productive this season. So you shouldn't worry about that. So you don't even worry about that, y'all. He's going to be productive this year. The only thing that will stop him if he get a case of the drops. I don't necessarily like the ball, him catching the ball like this a lot of times, and when the ball come into him, you know what I'm saying. Extension is what we need. High pointing balls. But when you're a speed receiver, you're used to being so open that you're just waiting for the ball to just fall in your hands like a bread in the bread basket. But these corners and safeties are faster, but he's really, really fast. So I just hope he don't get a case of the drops. I seen him working on his hands a little bit from a little bit of tape of OTA and stuff like that, and listening to what the coaches are saying to him. So I think he is working on that. I think he has a chip on his shoulder, no different than Besh. I'm glad we're giving these guys an opportunity to see what we have because, I was just talking about let's see what we have, but let's see what we have for guys that need to be on the field. We drafted these guys high, like our old linemen. Like we got 2 third-round linemen that we need to see what it do. So that way the draft picks aren't wasted. So we definitely need to see what those guys need to do. I don't know why AOC didn't play 22 games, started 17, and we still talking about we need to see what he do. What he's doing is trending backwards. That's what he's doing. But he's a fan favorite, so a lot of people like him. I don't dislike him. I just don't think that he's that good of a quarterback. Not a leader, not a leader of men like that. Not a knock on him. That's just what it is. It's not a knock on him. It's just what it is. So, but this was kind of fun. What it shows me is it's kind of comparable. We really don't know. I just think it wouldn't be smart if we start him game 1. A lot of people want to say that. I guess I'm gonna have to keep repeating this until week 1. Kirk Cousins is better than Fernando Mendoza. I'm sorry, y'all. But it's okay, though, because I'm a Raider. I'm a Raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. I'm a Raider, though.
Which team, by colors alone, is identifiable around the world?
I'm a Raider, though.
I'm a Raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.